Pisces, your love card for 2025 is the Sun. What a great love card because it suggests that a ray of sunshine will enter your life and that there are plenty of bright spots to look forward to. Now, the Sun actually rules romance, and this can be a very romantic year for you, filled with pleasurable experiences, where people just seem to be attracted to your sunny personality. Maybe you meet someone while you're on a vacation, or you take an important trip with a partner. If you're single, you may be tired of living life alone and decide to take a gamble on love. So you'll move beyond your fears to create a strategy for either finding or deepening your love. There are plenty of opportunities, but you have to take advantage of them. The focus this year is on shared happiness, and if you're partnered, the relationship can up-level to a greater understanding. Now, this might manifest as a renewal of commitment, a focus on children, maybe having a child. Or for some of you, maybe your children are leaving home, and that creates the space for you to focus on a partner. This energy might even encourage better health and vitality. Maybe you're going to work together with a partner on something that interests you, and they may inspire you to greater heights of creativity. As a whole, it's an influence that feels free, playful, and lighthearted, and this is a positive period for mutual love and affection. Given the circumstance, you'll develop greater awareness of your purpose and that of a person who has entered your life. The Sun also rules destiny, so partnering with another person is an important part of your destiny this year, and so you may meet someone that plays a significant role in your future. Now, your rapport with this person may be one that develops rather slowly because you're very concerned on the value of connection. So you may be taking your time, or the other person is. Maybe there are some fears that you have. You don't want to be manipulated, and maybe you're slow to let go of control, the way you want to steer the situation, or maybe you're losing control, and that brings up some kind of fear for you. So this is a relationship that's slow to develop, but it's also one that tends to be more physical than emotional. So perhaps, you have to let go of trying to control the way the relationship plays out. This isn't a person who necessarily will share their deepest feelings, but what they will do is put in a lot of effort to make you feel cared for, to make you feel secure, by providing whatever they think is necessary for your comfort and for your well-being, or you could be playing that role. So if you're happy with this person, you have to learn to sort of read between the lines. And sometimes maybe your fears get the better of you, or sometimes maybe you have some illusions about certain things. So you have to be willing to accept that it's the actions, not necessarily the words, that count with this person. And, at times maybe you may feel like this person is a little bit boring, or for some of you, it could be that there are issues about how loyal this person is or how devoted they are to you. So you're dancing this line with overstepping boundaries, and maybe that's why the relationship is slow to develop. You're both trying to feel your way about how far is too far. Maybe you feel like you don't have any control about how things develop and how slowly, the relationship moves forward, because, you've just been kind of waiting in the wings, waiting for the right time, the right opportunity. Or whether you're taking an unnecessary risk, or you're being foolish, or there are times between you where you really have to look at something to decide whether you're making a big thing out of nothing. And There are also times where you have to look at where maybe you're taking too much for granted. There may be a need for greater focus on the details, the small things that matter in a relationship. And when those are neglected, that could be a problem. So for some of you, taking the time to deal with your fears, acknowledging what you may be afraid of or where you feel out of control, or that could be important in providing the secure foundation for your connection. Now, for some of you, there is some measure of confusion. It can be that you're trying to sort out some things, what's fact, what's fiction. Maybe, you met somebody and they seem very mysterious. Maybe they're an enigma to you and you're not really sure if they're wearing a mask, or maybe some things that you've heard, or even your own imagination running wild. You're trying to find out the truth. So some of you may have a romantic encounter with, a femme fatale. Maybe this is somebody who is sexy, mysterious. A lot of people are attracted to her, but none of them ever really get close to her. And for others of you, maybe you're trying to sort through a situation, the concerns about whether there is loyalty, whether your partner is having an affair. So this may not necessarily be true, but this can be something that you're working around. So some of you, you're looking at sorting things out between what's false and what's real. You're meeting new people and you want to make sure to get some answers to determine if you're on the same wavelength. You may have a very deep psychic bond with a partner. And even when things don't go well, you're still aware of that attachment. And, maybe it extends beyond even this lifetime. So some of you, you're having to deal with your unconscious fears and anxiety, overcoming your apprehension, maybe even getting some counseling or some therapy. But part of your rapport with your partner means that you're going to be bringing your fears into the light in order to overcome them. So you're trying to develop patience, trying not to rush things or force issues. There may be some things you're aware of that you don't necessarily put out there, or vice versa. So moving along slowly with caution and letting everything develop naturally is important to you. You recognize when the time is to act. In fact, it may be some frustration that pushes you to do some things that you should have done before, either to connect with your partner or to set certain limits or boundaries or an understanding. So you're going to be moving forward on some matters that maybe have been bothering you, and you may feel a greater sense of relief just by bringing those out into the open. Now, as far as physical attraction or sexual chemistry, there are some issues that are problematic. Maybe nothing is going on. Maybe, there are reasons for that. Some of you, maybe you're a workaholic. You're just too tired. You can't even find the energy to physically connect. Others of you, maybe you're overwhelmed by your partner. Maybe you're just, worn out. Could be there's some partying, or there could be some age issues. But for others of you, you're trying to deal with some kind of betrayal. And it may be a valid concern. It may be, one that you've imagined. There is an issue about feeling protected, getting enough support, and, issues that make you feel stuck because maybe you feel vulnerable. So for some of you, the intimacy in a relationship is having difficulties. You might feel like you're giving more than you're getting, or you're having a hard time keeping up the pretense that nothing is wrong. So for some of you, maybe you've discovered something. Maybe there has been an extramarital affair, or you've gotten some other kind of revelation that, has made a deep impact in your connection. So it could be that you've reached a saturation point. Maybe you're not quite ready to give up on your union, or you feel that your partner's selfishness or disregard for your feelings leave you little choice but to bring an end to a situation. So you may have to accept the fact that a relationship is over and get on with your life. Now, for some of you, this is kind of the opposite. The clouds are clearing, the worst is over. Maybe you experience some kind of setback financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever it was. And now you're looking for brighter days. That could have been within the relationship, or it could be that after a negative experience, you find something that offers you some level of trust. Now, for some of you, a small percentage, there is an illness to contend with that may tie to alcoholism and illness related to that, or illnesses that have to do with age, or maybe, it's something that is inherited. It may have to do with ancestry or heritage. Maybe you have concerns about the health or care of a parent or your role as a parent. Could be some kind of loss that impacts your relationship or how you relate. So you may need to protect your partner or support your partner or vice versa. But whatever that issue is, it's having an impact on the physical connection between the two of you. Again, more positively, your relationship has been put to the test. You've survived. Maybe there's not much left for you to fear. And you realize, it can't get much worse. So the struggle you were in that brought you to the point of crisis is over, and so you don't have to suffer anymore. So that could mean that it's the end of some kind of illusion and the beginning of something that is real. Where you do share the same values, it may be that you're both very idealistic, maybe you're both romantic, or maybe you're both waiting for change. You're facing a truth about some things. Maybe there have been some criticisms or some battles that you fought of one-upmanship, or perhaps, your relationship has been very transactional. So it's possible that there's some kind of transformation taking place. Maybe change comes through purchasing a ticket and going away somewhere, some kind of holiday or a journey of some sort, or something you find entertaining or amusing or interesting. So there can be some kind of welcome agreement that arrives. Maybe that comes through really looking at the pros and cons of a current relationship and moving toward a new one for change, or really getting down to the nuts and bolts of what hasn't been working in your relationship to create a transformation. Whatever it is, there is an ability to get your heart's desire. You both may be very intuitive. You both may be very tapped into how to shift a situation toward your favor. Maybe there's a willingness to look past old transgressions or faults or whatever it is. And oftentimes, maybe you bring humor to the table to help that. So for some of you, there's a tendency to fall in love very quickly. And so either of you may be looking towards putting something out there. If you haven't been completely honest with each other, this may be a year where you decide to like put it all out there. So for some of you, you're going to have opportunities for some flirtatious interaction. Maybe you both have a reverence for romance. And maybe you both are also aware of how to be an uplifting influence when dealing with emotional situations. Maybe you're both sensitive, both intuitive. You could be both spiritual. So for some of you, this is going to be a year where you own your own strength and your confidence, and you are respecting the feelings and needs of your partner, and your partner is doing the same because you're discussing your values, your needs, your desires, and how you want to take action. So this may be the calm energy that permeates in the midst of a storm. And maybe either of you are on a strong crusade for the perfect relationship, or you both have the ability to say no or say goodbye when something is not right for you, despite any pressure from the other person. So maybe it's that, you both are easing up on the criticism and taking this softer, gentler approach. But still, the area of conflict is some measure of dissatisfaction, either about having to be alone or not having enough peace and quiet for yourself or with your partner. So trying to find that harmony. Maybe you're dissatisfied by, just being friends. Maybe your relationship isn't moving as quickly as you want. And it could be because someone is so self-absorbed in what they're doing or their own concerns that they're not aware of offers or overtures or somebody trying to get their attention. It could be that, either of you may be socially withdrawn and maybe giving some thought to some recent choices, some decisions, some behaviors that probably didn't turn out the way that you wanted. So for some of you, you're doing a lot of thinking about what's on offer and do you want it. Maybe you don't like what's on offer. Maybe you're alone because you can't reconcile what is out there available, or maybe you didn't get enough of what you wanted, or there's something that you are dissatisfied with. Maybe you're even bored or apathetic about even putting yourself out there, although that Sun card says you should feel very motivated by love. So some of you, maybe you're trying to resolve a problem. There's a dilemma that keeps your relationship at bay or off kilter. And until you resolve that, you may not fully engage the way you would. Now, for some of you, there's some changes in your relationship, and you may be in denial or refusing to accept those changes. So that can be a source of contention between you and another person, and you not cluing into your intuition, what it's trying to tell you, or not making yourself available for opportunity because you've closed off because of things that didn't go right in the past. So trying to maintain some kind of inner peace or harmony, or maybe find the perfect destination for the both of you or for yourself. Maybe it's too quiet, not quiet enough, but something that is on offer is not pleasing to you. However, if you can find that equilibrium, your energy will attract more opportunities. So we started off on a very positive note. We sort of ventured into some other areas. The Sun card is beautiful energy. You have to use it properly to get the best out of it. And that means that being very friendly, using tact, the best qualities of loyalty, generosity, devotion, steadfastness, those are the things that, you offer others and that you should be looking for in a partner. Where the sun gets into trouble is when you use the energy to push situations to move in a direction faster than they should, just because you want them to. And so there can be domineering or aggressive behavior, lashing out in anger and frustration, burning yourself out to produce a result that isn't necessarily good for you or the relationship, and getting burned by others because of it, finding yourself alone in solitude or emotionally isolated because, you were trying to force a situation. So as long as you remain tactful, non-judgmental of your partner, that is the key that will unlock any challenge that you face. And if you can do that, this can be a year where no matter what you've suffered through, what kind of setbacks or difficulties, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you can feel optimistic about the future. Here's your sneak peek for the year in love.